Hey there, guys. This is Meteorologist Ben Peine. I just want to go on live here and give you an update on what's going on. We got a tornado watch that's has been expanded to the south to include areas along and north of the Ohio River. I can go ahead and pull up a view of this right here with the live radar sweep. Lots of colors happening on the live radar sweep as well as we go into full screen mode here. So in that purple color area there, let me get rid of our little drawing right there. Is the tornado watch that goes until midnight tonight. So as always, with any severe weather threat, any tornado watch situation, you just want to be prepared to be able to get your warnings, obviously, whether it's a weather radio, if it's your phone, make sure it's charged up for tonight. Late night events, this might not be late night event as far as the severe weather threat as it's arriving now. But either way, you want to have your cell phone charged up and your alerts turned on, your volume up. It's easy to sleep through these warnings sometimes. So we do have a tornado warning that's moving into what we call our area. And let me zoom in a little bit closer here. So this does include Orange County and the Paoli area. This has winds possibly in excess of 70 miles per hour. Tornado warning for this until 9 p.m. So it's 8:28 right now, and that goes for about 30 more minutes. Happy Father's Day, by the way, June 21st here, and we're tracking the potential of some hail that could be involved in this, but also a spin-up tornado can't be ruled out as well. This has been a very strong, potent system that's been holding together here so far with a number of tornado warnings as there's just a lot of spin in the atmosphere, and there's been plenty of juice as well as far as the fuel for severe weather here this evening. So this is what we're tracking here. Tornado watch, again, has just been expanded to include the counties along the Ohio River and north. So that's Clark and Floyd and Harrison and Crawford and Perry and Du Bois, and then points to the north. You can see why we've got these storms here, and they this is radar indicated so far as this tornado potential here in Paoli area in northern half of Orange County, and then southwestern Lawrence County and around the Mitchell area. You guys also have a tornado warning. Obviously, you probably heard the alerts if you live in those areas and you want to be seeking shelter if that is in your area. But this is kind of just a little early heads up for our friends that are out ahead of this line of potential tornadic storms. So that would include Ferdinand, areas in Crawford County. You can see other portions of Orange County, a heads up there, Fredericksburg into Salem, Hardensburg. So any of our friends, family that are ahead of this line of storms, just give them a heads up that we are tracking that potential of some strong to severe storms and the potential as well of some isolated tornadic activity as well. So we're going to keep an eye on this here for a little bit for you and keep. And we've got Beverly Haggis here watching. Beverly says the radio went off a little bit. That was probably for the tornado watch, I assume, for your area in the Borden Valley. So we can also look at Futurecast here, like a future radar view, and see what's going to be happening as well. And since we're close enough, we've got Marianne here, Glenn, watching from Meade County, and hopefully this activity stays north of you there in Meade County. We also have a flood watch, by the way. I mean, it's been a pretty active June. What was it, last Wednesday night when we had a long track tornado that moved east of Austin, Indiana, over to Madison, northwestern Jackson County. I believe there's a tornado touchdown there. And then we've had rounds of flooding in different areas. Of course, Lanesville had some historic flooding recently. So if this isn't slow to move, if this isn't fast to move through, if this is slow to move through, I should say, then we're going to have the potential for some localized flash flooding as well. So if you have travel late tonight, I guess third shifters, it would have to watch out for the potential some flooding here late tonight as well. Campbellsville, I wouldn't expect severe weather down that far southeast later on tonight. And New Albany, kind of right on the edge, definitely in the tornado watch now, Abigail. So definitely going to keep an eye on that. As if you notice here, I'm just going to get your comment out of the way. There's a tornado warning right here just to the north of Evansville. So that's tracking along Interstate 64. And if that were to hold together, which I mean, that would be kind of crazy if that held together that long, but you can see the activity is kind of along and north of Interstate 64. So that would include right there in the New Albany area. So we do have that new tornado. It's not a new tornado watch. It's just been expanded to the south to include areas along and north of Interstate 64 and the Ohio River. And Dana, I don't expect anything crazy in the Greensburg area. Farther southeast, you get later into the nighttime. This should begin to weaken. And Keith makes a good point here. Will it drop down to us tonight? Oh, I thought you meant would the severity drop down? It is going to be dropping our way here, Keith. That's why I want to give you a heads up here. So, but the severity, once we lose the daytime heating, we do lose that ingredient of, that muggy air, the unstable air. So the hope is that we lose the tornadic activity here maybe over the next couple of hours. In general, there still might be a warning or two out. But then this could switch to, if this is just a slow mover, to a flooding situation that we have to watch out for. Hey, Brandy Bell, thanks for watching here for tonight. And Angie Sparrow says, thank you. The Orleans sirens have been on for about 15 minutes. Let me get out of the loop here and get rid of, let me clean up the map a little bit. And, all right. And let me get to the live scan. Clean up some stuff here. So we have this tornado warned area around French Lick and Paoli. So if the warnings have been going off, obviously be seeking shelter. This goes until 9 p.m. It's 8:33 right now, so we've got about 27 minutes or so of that tornado warning. Let me bring up real quick the velocity mode and see what kind of velocities we're talking about. I don't see a lot of necessarily strong rotation, but that blue area right there does indicate some strong winds. This shows winds in excess of around 50 miles per hour. So it would be good if we were losing, that rotation, that tight rotation that we see. But still, this could be causing some, tree damage, some power line damage. There could be some power outages with this. Let me once again clear up the map a little bit here. I can get rid of the tornado warnings here for just a second and the severe thunderstorm warnings. So this is a punch of winds that are coming down. I'm sure we're going to get some ground truth, some reports of these strong winds around Paoli very soon. This is showing around 60 mile per hour winds in this thunderstorm cluster right here, moving towards Paoli. Near West Baden, the worst of it just to the east of French Lick and West Baden. Could be some hail involved there, but I would say the damaging wind threat in excess of 60 miles per hour, that can topple some trees, that can damage some power lines and cause some problems there. That is, I'd say the northern half of Orange County is what we're looking at with that right there. And you can see it looks like maybe that has weakened just a touch as it's been moving off to the east. And again, I'm not seeing the tight tornadic rotation necessarily there. With that said, if you ever have a tornado warning, just heed the warning and definitely be taking shelter. Let me look at the storm relative velocity. And it looks about the same there. Okay. So I'm not seeing any tight rotation as far as a tornado on the ground or anything like that. I'm going to check the National Weather Service chat here in just a second as well, see if we got any reports coming in from there. But let me get back to our regular radar view that you're used to here in just 1 second. All right, so and what we're kind of watching for too is these kinks. You see that doesn't look normal, and that is a kink right there. Sometimes you get little spin up tornadoes when you get those kind of irregular shapes right there is what we're looking at. And I'm trying to get rid of my drawings there as well, so bear with me a second. I need to bring up a different product, it looks like. So also, as this continues to move to the east, let me So we've got, again, this tornado warning till 9 p.m. This is radar indicated, by the way. This is less than 3/4 inch hail possible, damaging winds in excess of 60 or 70 miles per hour possible. So you've got kind of a lot of the severe weather hazards on the table that we're watching for right now. It's bumping into Paoli right now, right over the Mitchell area in southeastern Lawrence County. This will be heading into the Salem area, Washington County. So this is probably, you're looking at about 45 minutes or so outside of Pekin, maybe 20 minutes outside of Hardinsburg, maybe a half hour outside of the Bird's Eye there in Du Bois County. You can kind of see where this is heading right now. Okay, let me take off a couple things here. Just hands it back on. Let's look at Futurecast. Let's do that. And I'm also checking out your comments as well. So again, there's a lot on the radar here, so bear with me as I'm clicking and directing my own traffic here. There we got rid of the text there. So the model of choice, we're going to bring up the HRRR, High Resolution Rapid Refresh Weather Model. And we need to back this up to right now. So we're coming up to 9 p.m. Let's see how well this weather model does once it loads up. Let's hope the severe weather stuff stays north. I'll take about a ½ inch of rain, though. Crestwood, I would say we hope it stays north of you guys there, Cheryl. Right now, the tornado watch is along and north of the river. Thank you, Beverly, for the happy Father's Day. Penny Keith, thanks for tuning in here. Tanya, hey, thanks. I appreciate that. And Nick in Carmel, the sirens are going crazy up there. In Rhineyville, we hope it stays north of your area. So I would say that this model is picking up pretty well and where we have the activity, although it's a little farther north. You can see that we already have storms heading towards the Paoli area. So I would kind of shift our thinking a little bit farther south when we look at this. But here you can see we're going to go 1 hour in advance. This is 10 p.m. Here is 11 p.m. And here is midnight. Notice through the next several hours, a lot of this is along and north of Interstate 64. So for you guys in Louisville and south asking about, is this going to hit my area? So far, looks like it stays north. And we hope that tornadic threat decreases in time. But here's the problem. Look at all the colors here that are over the same areas. Flash flooding is a very, very serious situation. I just want to point that out, that even when we talk about tornado warnings, flash flooding is actually more dangerous than tornadoes, lightning, and damaging winds. It kills more people per year than anything else from thunderstorms. I just want to point that out. So we are under a flood watch for southern Indiana as well. Now, our friends here north of 64 in Kentucky could be getting hit with some heavy rain, some lightning and thunder, some damaging winds as well. So we'll need to watch out for that too. This is a snapshot, by the way, if you're just tuning in here at midnight tonight. 1 second here. Just want to put this reminder at the bottom of our screen here as we move forward. This here is at 1 a.m. Here's 2 o'clock in the morning. Here's 3 o'clock in the morning. And this again, if this scenario plays out, this is a problem. This is a flooding problem. There could be some areas that pick up over 3 inches of rainfall. That is no good because the soils are already still fairly saturated after recent rains that we've had. So you can see this is generally along and north of Interstate 64 through the late night hours. This is 5 o'clock in the morning. Here we go to 6 a.m. And we call this training of thunderstorms. That's because, I mean, just like a train track, like Interstate 64 is a train track. You just have these thunderstorms just going over the same areas, one after another. And unfortunately, Lanesville was the perfect example of this, where it just dumped over a period of a couple of hours and just wouldn't stop. So that's a big concern here for tonight. That's why there's a flood watch, along with the potential of a spin-up tornado. I think that's going to be a lower threat as we head through the late night hours. Still a potential of some damaging winds, some power outages. There's going to be a lot of lightning and thunder with this as well. In fact, let me bring up a look at our interactive radar here at extolmag.com/weather. This has all of your watches and warnings, by the way, and it has your lightning strikes. Just a real simple way for you to look at what severe weather might be happening in your area. There is the one tornado warned area that we have again for about 19 more minutes. It's 8:41 p.m. here on your Sunday evening. So that is the tornado warning. As this says, take cover now. Move to a basement or interior room on the lowest level of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Heavy rainfall may hide this tornado. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. If you have a warning, torrential rainfall is occurring within this storm and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways. So this is currently a radar indicated tornado. We do not have proof that this is on the ground at this point in time. But again, this is just a product that is available for you for free at extolmag.com/weather. That's extolmag.com/weather. You can see that we have current conditions. There is also surrounding that tornado warning there around Paoli, around Orange County, is a very large severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warnings are giving out when you have winds in excess of around 60 miles per hour and the potential of 1-inch hail. Hail is not the main deal with this. It would be the potential of some damaging straight line winds as this moves through parts of southern Indiana. So that orange is the severe thunderstorm warning. Not only is it a severe thunderstorm warning, it's a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag is what we call that. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into the basement or small central room in a sturdy structure for your protection. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. To report severe weather, contact your nearest law enforcement agency. They will send your report to the National Weather Service office in Louisville. A tornado watch remains in effect until midnight tonight. That is for Du Bois, for Orange, for Washington counties in Indiana. All right, and this says there's some more information. Again, you can get all of this yourself. You can be your very own meteorologist here at extolmag.com/weather. And when this was issued here not too long ago, about 8 minutes ago, they were located along a line extending 13 miles south of Bedford to Paoli, 12 miles south of Shoals, moving east at 35 miles per hour. The main hazard, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-size hail. The source is radar indicated. The impact, expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations include Salem, Paoli, Orleans, French Lick, Stampers Creek, Campbellsburg, West Baden Springs, Hardinsburg, Livonia, and Saltillo. And again, this is all the information that you can get right here at extolmag.com/weather. It's also got storm tracks. You can click on the storm tracks. It'll tell you where that storm is heading. So there you can see the lightning strikes as well. That's also a history of all the tornado warnings that were happening earlier this evening out of south central Illinois and heading into Indiana. So it looks like right now there is still a handful of tornado warnings in this complex of storms. One northeast around Greensburg, Indiana. All the warnings are south of Indianapolis. And then we still have this one until 9 p.m. here for parts of Orange County. It's been clipped to just north of Paoli. They've updated what we call a polygon for that tornado warning. And then there's a tornado warning here to the northeast of Evansville, northwest of Santa Claus. All right, so it's been a busy here mid-June weather-wise, no doubt about that. All right, let's bring back. This is the Futurecast view, by the way. And this just shows scattered showers still lingering tomorrow morning. This is at 8 a.m. So we looked at Futurecast as this continues to move kind of along the Interstate 64 corridor and north. Flooding could be a concern with this. I actually think we have a total precipitation. Let's see how much total precipitation that's possible with this. So there could be this would be crazy. Hopefully we don't see this much, but this shows a swath of around 4 to 6 inches of rainfall. That would be trouble. We do not want this to happen. I know, but any tornado threat always gets the headlines. It's scary to have a tornado warning, but a tornado hit your house is very rare. I know we had it move through eastern Scott County and into Jefferson County last week. It does happen, but it's very rare. But flooding, a big deal here. We got to watch out for this. Those are some crazy amounts, 3 to 6 inches. And this is an hourly updated version of the high resolution rapid refresh weather model, by the way. So this just updated about an hour or so ago. So it's using the latest information. It's clocking in this cluster of storms that just kind of stalls out over along and north of Interstate 64. So through the overnight hours, through I'd say the next 5 or 6 hours, I would not be surprised if we get some flash flood warnings out of this activity as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring back up and this is just, by the way, the General Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk for our area, severe storms. Doesn't matter now because we're what I call nowcasting. We're looking at what's happening now. And real quick, a rad sat view of all that's happening as well. And there's been a lot of storm reports as well. So let me take a look at some of these. So this is a tornado report. So there's actually a lot of tornado reports this evening. That's a funnel cloud report. Vincennes had a funnel cloud. Tornado reported on the ground near Owensville. I would say, half dozen tornado reports out to the west. So again, we want those to go away. We want this to weaken with time. Here's kind of a timeline here, as you can see. And I'll try to give you a better timeline here in just a second. But this is a little bit behind, but shows Livonia at 8:53. So heading to your area now. Hardinsburg 8:56, Fredericksburg 9:06, Palmyra 9:13, and Topeka at 9:18, Borden at 9:25, Greenville at 9:26. And wait, I think I need to click on this right. Okay, so here's a new tornado warning that includes southern Washington County and southern Orange County until 9:30 p.m. This is moving east at 40 miles per hour. This is radar indicated as well. Let me pull back up the live radar scan for you guys. And again, I just wanted to pop on, give you an update of what's going on. Little heads up, because this is moving into more and more parts of southern Indiana. It's just a robust, energy-filled cluster of storms with wind energy, with spin, with fuel, all those severe weather ingredients that we talk about. So here we go. This expires in 40 minutes. Again, here is the tornado. There's a severe thunderstorm warning, but there's also a tornado warning. Seek shelter immediately if you are in this area. This includes basically the southern half of Orange County and southwestern Washington County, Indiana. Here's a little ETA on where there's the potential of a spin-up tornado. Hardinsburg 9:16, Fredericksburg 9:24, Palmyra 9:30, Pekin 9:37, and possibly into the Borden area at 9:43. Let me put on the velocity mode here. So we have some rotation, and this is just south of French Lick right here. So the red colors are going away from the radar, and the green is going toward the radar. We call that a couplet, and you can kind of see the spinning nature of this, and that's why there's a tornado warning. That's not good when you see the spinning right there on the radar. Oops, sorry. So just south of French Lick, around 145, there is the potential Indiana 145 of a tornado on the ground. This is heading basically due east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. That's a heads up for the Hardinsburg area. And let me see if I can. So right now, this is heading towards. So we're in southwestern Orange County, south of French Lick. That's South County Road 590 in the way. This is West County Road 375. Looks like we got a neighborhood here. Wildwood Way, Lakeshore Drive. If you hear these areas, you know these areas. That's kind of there is rotation right here. Again, this is west of Hardinsburg and south of French Lick in southwestern Orange County, where we have a tornado warning until 9:30 p.m. So there's State Road 145, West County Road 450, West County Road 575. Definitely the potential of a tornado on the ground south of French Lick. Please be seeking shelter immediately if your warnings are going off in your area. Again, here is a look at the timelines with this storm. Hardinsburg shows. I'm not sure if I'm liking these timelines too much. 9:30 Palmyra. I might do my own timeline here for you here in just a second. All right, I see some comments as well, but we're focused in here. We are. Let me get rid of the label function here. So this is about 40 miles northwest of Louisville, where we have a tornado warning for until 9:30 for southern Orange County and southwestern Washington County in Indiana is what we're looking at right here. Also, I wanted to bring up your comments. I see them coming in, and I'm probably behind here. Abigail just said, Oldham County, you're kind of on the line for later on tonight. We've still got that spin there. Again, if I have a squirrel brain right now, I apologize, but I've got a lot of information in front of me. So sometimes I'm looking at the speeds, I'm looking at the warnings, I'm looking at the comments. So bear with me here. Let me go back to the regular radar reflectivity. And we also have what's really cool about the oops, I don't see that one there. Oh, there it is. So correlation coefficient is a product that would show a debris ball if there was a tornado on the ground. And it would be something kind of like this right here. When you see something stand out, especially in blue with the correlation coefficient product, and again, this is dual pole radar. It's not new technology, but it's fairly new. And that would show the potential of a tornado that touched down and then brought some debris. That just went away with the latest scan. So hopefully there was a little spin up tornado that it is gone now. Let me get back to the radar. Desi, it's okay. Sorry, I've got 3 dogs and they're going to bother me a little bit. Radar reflectivity, what you're kind of used to. And it looks like there is the potential for hail. A lot of lightning here around French Lick. So we've got some busy weather happening in Orange County and Washington counties in Indiana. You also see some very heavy rain with severe thunderstorm warning for Salem, Indiana, and the Campbellsburg area. Let me see why this is not clearing out. All right. Pardon me. I'm going to have to clear this whole map out. There's so much going on. Anyway, Dennis Gregory says the sirens blaring in Bedford and Oolitic. Dana Buckner, thank you very much. And Robin's watching from Louisville. Thank you, Robin. Always good to see you there. Not good for digging up the pool. No, no, indeed. Deborah Brand, thanks for watching in Paley. Stay safe there. Barbara Drexler, my go-to guy. Thank you very much. Another late night watch. You got it, Leo. It's been a busy June so far. Robin says, one colorful map. Looks like we've got another tornado warning, by the way. I need to get rid of this. These, I'm trying to clear the map here. Bear with me a second. And I might be restarting the program here in a second because it's making me frustrated. A new tornado warning until 9:45. Okay. Actually, let me go ahead and we're going to go back to extolmag.com/weather here in just a second. All right. Actually, I'm going to get rid of that. All right. So, again, all the warnings are here for you all of the time. extolmag.com/weather. It's got radar. Here's the brand new tornado warning. And again, this goes until 9:45. Take cover now. This is from our Louisville National Weather Service. And this is for central Washington County in south central Indiana till 9:45. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located 10 miles west of Salem, moving east at 35. This is radar indicated rotation. We don't have a visual on this, a confirmation that it's on the ground at this point in time. Flying debris is dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles can occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Salem at 9:05. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Saltillo, Campbellsburg, Smedley, Claysville, South Boston, Hitchcock, Prowsville, New Liberty, Harristown, and New Philadelphia. So if you are in or near those areas, please be seeking shelter, and that includes the Salem, Indiana area. All right, I'm just checking some comments here. Just want to get that latest tornado warning out there. All right, I'm going to block one user here because they're spamming the comments. Crestwood and Oldham County. Looks like, I mean, you're going to be on the edge of maybe being clipped by some of these showers and thunderstorms a little bit later tonight, but I do think it'll weaken before it gets into your area. Same for Shively. It looks like most of this will be north of you guys. Again, the tornado watch goes until midnight along and north of the Ohio River. Go ahead and pull back up the. Bear with me while I bring back up the radar products here. It's always good to do a little refresh because it is ingesting quite a bit of data. So I'm loading it back up. And we will zoom back in here. I'm going to bring up the live radar again. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. Hey, I'm meteorologist Ben Peine. Typically, we do Ben at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll be on at 10 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully, we don't have to talk about a lot of damage or anything like that. There's a decent chance that the National Weather Service will need to go out and do some live surveys. Some storm surveys, I should say. And again, tornado watch until midnight along and north of the Ohio River. The latest tornado warning area does include Pekin, Salem, Campbellsburg. It expires in about 35 to 40 minutes. And so heading toward Campbellsburg at basically now, and Salem at 9:13. But you can see it's right on your doorstep right there. Let me go ahead and bring up the velocity mode. All right, still seeing some rotation. So we've got rotation here west of Hardensburg. Hardensburg being stay in your place of shelter. And again, I would like to do a better job of the tracking here. So oops. So here's where we have some rotation. It's moving east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. There we go. Hardensburg, 920. Fredericksburg, 928. Pekin, 942. Borden, I'm in Borden. My dog's going crazy over here at 948. All right. Sorry, I had that comment up the whole time. What time into New Albany? It might be another hour or two. Still a little ways off. I'm going to let my dog out so it doesn't keep bothering me. So bear with me a second. I'm going to leave the radar up and the warnings up. I won't be long, I promise. But she's going crazy. Y'all know Desi. She's a wild dog. Let me get rid of that track right there. This is what we're watching, guys. Tornadic threat moving into southern Indiana. Just 1 second. All right. Come on. Okay, we're back. All right, so here we are watching these, just a big cluster of showers and thunderstorms moving to the east at around 35 to 40 miles per hour. Just to give us an overview, most of this is along and north of 64. If you're south of 64, you're probably not going to get much of an impact here for tonight. We've got a couple tornado warnings in effect for southern Orange County, for Washington County, Indiana. This is radar indicated. It's not confirmed that it's on the ground. And again, I mentioned earlier that I wanted to check the National Weather Service chat for some comments to see what we might have popping in, see if they've got any reports. And okay, I don't see any reports so far. When it's safe to do when this moves through your area, if you take a look outside, if you see a tree down, you see any reports, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I'll relay those to the National Weather Service as well. Okay, I don't see any reports of damage yet, but with the velocities that I'm seeing, velocity, of course, is wind speed and direction. We've got a observed tornado tag. So this is southwestern Du Bois County, by the way. In Du Bois County, there's a radar confirmed tornado. So that one's in Du Bois County, where that one's confirmed, not just radar indicated. All right, so let's take a look here. And a lot of times that can be confirmed because of a debris ball. And the debris ball is going to be with the correlation coefficient product we have with the national. And there is a lot of rotation here. This is near Holland, Indiana, if you're familiar with that area, southwest of Huntingburg and southwest of Jasper. This is right along Interstate 64. That could be tracking right on the interstate right now. Let me bring up the correlation coefficient. Yeah, it looks like there is a tornado on the ground here near Holland, Indiana. This is west of Ferdinand. Let me see if I can. This is the distance tool. So this is about 10 miles west of Ferdinand, Indiana. And this is about 7 miles southwest of Huntingburg, moving pretty much directly east at around 35 to 40 miles per hour. So if you're in Ferdinand, Indiana, you want to be seeking shelter. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground there. And let me look at the velocity. All right. And we still have rotation here in southern Orange County that we're watching. That is west of Hardinsburg. Tornado warning continues for 23 more minutes. This is where we see rotation right here. This is away. This is toward. And this is heading toward Hardinsburg. If I pick up the distance tool right here, there's a potential of a tornado right there. That's about 10 miles west of Hardinsburg, Indiana. Southern Orange County, southwestern Washington County areas is what we're talking about there. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. All right. And we still have this tornado warning for 37 more minutes as this is moving east, southeast at around 35 miles per hour through the Salem, Indiana area. Along with the potential of damaging straight line winds. So we've got these supercells, and then they start spinning like a top every once in a while because we have a lot of wind shear, what we call helicity. So we answered that question, and Vicky says, my brother lives in Orange and Washington County line. That is very close to what we're talking about there. Beverly, you're right. We got a surge of mugginess to feed these storms here very recently today. John, thanks for tuning in here. LaRue County looks like south of the dangerous thunderstorms. Angie Sparrow says, I made my family get into our safe place. I got a video of the clouds spinning. Angie, let us know where you're watching from. Betty Logston, thanks for the heads up. No problem. Happy to do it. Dennis, thanks for tuning in here. Angie says, cooler now. Becky says, you made this look less scary than the radar I've seen in other meteorologists I've been watching. I mean, why make it more scary than it is? I mean, if your warning happens, we all know what to do. Take shelter. Very, very simple. I've said that for decades now. If there's a warning, take shelter. What else can you do? I mean, let's keep it simple. Julie, thank you very much. Zach, thanks for tuning in here. Stacy, waiting in Du Bois County for the one that's a further west heading your way. Yeah, I was just talking about that one there. I'm going to keep the loop on while I'm looking at the National Weather Service chat, while I'm looking at your comments. We'll get back to doing some tracks here in a second as well. I'm not going to say that comment. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. So downstream, you're waiting for the potential of warnings in Crawford County, in Harrison County, Floyd County, and Clark County, Scott County. There's the potential we could have some severe thunderstorm warnings and maybe a tornado warning as well. So just heads up here. That's why we're here. We're on here live with you at 9:10 on this Father's Day evening, June 21st. And again, from time to time, I might slow things down just so I can kind of recap myself with what's happening with the National Weather Service, with what's happening on the radar. I've got a lot of different things that I'm looking at the same time. So bear with me here. Tammy Stanley from NAB in New Washington, Indiana. Thanks for watching there. Barbara Lothery from New Wash as well. Melanie Allen from Shelbyville, Kentucky. I think you guys will stay north of most of the problems tonight. In Carrollton, Kentucky, we'll have to watch. Hopefully this will weaken before it gets to your area here in the next hour and a half or so, but it's definitely heading your direction. Will it hit Louisville? It looks like it'll skirt along 64, so this could clip Louisville with some heavy rainfall. I'm hoping the spin that we're seeing right here, the tornadic potential, will diminish before it hits the Louisville area. That's we still have the tornado watch north of Louisville right now. Answering your question there, Mike Siebert. Thank you, Mike. Christy Carver from north of Salem. So, yeah, you still want to be seeking shelter. I still see some rotation possible near there. Let's go to the latest live scan, and I do see this is these little kinks right here. This is not what you want near Salem. It doesn't mean there's a tornado on the ground. It just means there's the potential of a spin up, quick, and sometimes these or damaging straight line winds. And also, we got to watch out for this apex. When you get these bursts, these bow echoes, they can also produce damaging straight line winds, and that's heading towards Pekin and possibly the Borden area in the next half hour or so. Right now, the worst of it looks like it's south of Salem, Indiana, but I would say these are some pretty gusty winds, lots of lightning and thunder. We can always bring up the live look. These are cloud to ground lightning strikes, by the way. That's the only ones that get picked up on this interactive map. This is at extolmag.com/weather, and it shows you the warnings. Still a handful of tornado warnings. There are tornado warnings out here again for Du Bois County. That was an observed tornado in southwestern Du Bois County. And then we have these 2 tornado warnings out for southern Orange County, and then also in Washington County in Indiana. All right, back to, let me get rid of my little drawings right here. This tornado warning expires in 32 minutes for Salem in central Washington County, Indiana. And this tornado warning expires in 17 minutes. That includes the Hardinsburg area. So Hardinsburg still want to be in your place of shelter until that expires. All right, busy here in southern Indiana here tonight. And New Wash is in the tornado watch area, so you'll want to be ready for the potential that you have a warning, maybe the next hour or so. Beverly says, my son lives in Pekin. The sirens are going off, but nothing at his house. So that's because of this. Obviously Pekin is right there on Highway 60. The polygon for the tornado warning is just north. And where I see the potential of some rotation is just on the southeast side of Pekin, where Highway 60 goes into, the southeast side of Salem, where Highway 60 goes into Salem. There's also this tornado warning that goes until 9:45 that includes French Lick and Paoli. There's one on the backside of all this activity. So you guys be seeking shelter. Paoli once again be seeking shelter. Orleans, there's some rotation out your way. And that's the rotation right there we see. So that is heading towards French Lick at 9:21, West Baden 9:22, Paoli 9:30 on that storm track ETA right there. So we have 3 or 4 active tornado warnings right now. Trying to make this not look too crazy on the map. All right, we're getting a lot of comments here as well. Mary Ridge, thanks for tuning in here. It did say confirmed in Du Bois, and I believe that was because they had a debris ball on the correlation coefficient product of the radar. Beverly's got rain in the Borden area. Corey, thanks for tuning in here this evening. Palmyra, heading your way. Be prepared for warnings in your area. Emergency alerts going off for Angie. Angie, again, let us know where you're watching from. I'm not exactly sure where. They are, Zachary, and that's the potential for flash flooding we need to watch for along and north of Interstate 64. That's why there's a flood watch. Thank you, Carrie. Thanks for tuning in here. Cincinnati, I would say some heavy rain potential. Wind increasing in starlight. Hey, Mike, thanks for tuning in here. Orleans, I see you, Angie. I'm just getting back to some of the comments. I'm trying to keep up with the comments as well as tracking on the radar too. Orange County is in the tornado warnings right now. Shonda, I don't know what part of Orange County you're in, but there are active tornado warnings in much of Orange County. So you might be wanting to take shelter if you're around Paoli or French Lick or West Baden or Hardinsburg. Rhino, Hardinsburg, it's southwestern Washington County. Also, there's tornado warnings in Washington County, in Salem, in southeast and near Pekin, in South Boston. So please be seeking shelter if those alerts have gone off for your area. Also, Du Bois County, we're talking about you guys as well. And I'll stop the loop and just go to the live stream right here. Okay. Sarah, happy to do it. Jeff is, in the tornado watch area. Jeannie, we're going to have to watch probably something like this. This tornado warned area here in Du Bois County, if that continues to the east, and if it holds together, we hope it weakens. We'll just have to be on alert and be ready for that if it heads toward the Jeffersonville area. Kind of on the line, on the fence, along Interstate 64 here over the next couple of hours. Is the SPC considering extending the watch south? I would say not yet. I can't speak for them, but I would say not yet. Salem is, we've been talking about Salem here this evening. It looks like the worst is now east of Salem as far as tornadic potential. It looks like it's just north of the Pekin area if there is a little spin-up tornado potential. And it looks a little ragged right here. I'm not seeing like anything crazy as far as rotation. I'm not seeing debris balls. We're getting warnings for the potential, maybe kind of little spin-ups here. But really, guys, I'm not seeing anything really tight rotation-wise here in Orange and Washington counties. If you have a tornado warning, obviously just take the precaution, seek the shelter until that warning's over with. Sometimes it only takes 15 minutes or a half hour. Good to take that, to heed those warnings and be safe. But I'm not seeing anything crazy as far as rotation right now. Let me bring back up the storm relative velocity. Not seeing anything wild with that either. And that's what we're hoping is going to happen, is that as we lose the daytime heating, we lose one of those severe weather ingredients, which is CAPE, convective available potential energy, the fuel, the gasoline for thunderstorms. So we hope within time that we lose that tornado threat. Good to take something off the table, but then you still have the flooding threat, and that's a big danger as well. My little boy Skeeter here always knows when there is electricity in the air, and he goes crazy. I've got 2 dogs out of 3 that go crazy when we have lightning. Doris in Madison, flooding threat, I think mostly. That's my daughter, Hannah. She could come over here and talk to me right now. Brandenburg, I think we're north of you as far as the real bad stuff. Doris asked about Madison. I think, again, flooding potential mainly. I'm hoping this weekends as it approaches your area. Zachary saying MSD. Chris Williams, thank you for keeping us up to date on I-65 north of Salem, headed south towards Louisville. Lots of lightning and rain. No problem, Chris. Thanks for tuning in here. That's my old colleague, Chris Williams, right there. One of the best reporters Louisville's ever seen. So be safe heading south on 65 there, Chris. Looks like the worst is still just west of you. Hopefully you can skip all the way down to Louisville before that gets bad there. Patty, thanks for watching here. And again, I'll get back to tracking in more detail just a second. I'm trying to get caught up with the comments. Josh Missy, Starlight. Definitely got to have a heads up here in Starlight, Indiana, because I'm hoping we're on the right trend here. I'm not seeing like tight rotation as far as like, oh, this is some crazy radar indicated tornadic activity. We do have tornado warnings. Southeastern Orange County, northwestern Orange County, central Washington County. But again, I think this is just little spin up kind of activity. I'm hoping this, with time, we lose the tornadic activity. The National Weather Service talked about this in the discussion as well. After sunset, we start to lose that real heat ingredient that produces tornadoes, and we're looking at a flood threat as we head through later on tonight. With that said, you're talking about Starlight, and I go to Control D right here. So Here is like the Borden, Indiana area and Starlight. There is a tornado warning 18 miles out to the west. It's moving around 30 to 40 miles per hour. So you're talking about within about a half hour. Potentially some hail, isolated damaging winds, and can't rule out a spin up tornado as well. All right, let me get rid of that. Back up our view here. You can see a lot of Kentucky is not going to have to deal with this. I feel like Indiana has been the bullseye of severe weather. Kentucky, not as much this late spring. Now it's summer. Happy summer. Summer solstice today, by the way. You got the thunder and lightning starting in Madison, Indiana from Doris Jensen. Thanks for, and Sean Atkins saying the Salem, the siren's going off. When are we in the clear? That's a good point, too. When are we in the clear? I would say high alert here for the next hour because directly west of you, Sean, in Paoli, there's another tornado warning. So we need to get that guy by you before we're all clear. This is what I'm talking about. We need to get that through Salem before it can be like all clear. Then that would be probably about an hour. So hopefully it's not too past bedtime for you there. I've got a early alarm clock at like 5 o'clock in the morning, so I get it if you got to wake up early. And Zachary saying, saw the Storm Prediction Center looking to extend the watch south of the river. Potentially, I haven't checked the SBC's discussion here in just a second. I've been just doing the nowcasting stuff here, but you look at the mesoscale discussions, and feel free to keep me updated if you. Oh, I see what you're saying. There's a mesoscale discussion about extending the watch south, as what Zachary was saying. Obviously, I can't look at 10 different things at the same time, but it says a new tornado watch likely will be needed across portions of northern Kentucky. A tornado threat is likely to develop later this evening as a broken line of supercells moves into the region. These supercells have a history of confirmed tornadoes. The overall environment across northern Kentucky is marginally to moderately unstable, with most unstable cape ranging from just under 1,000 joules per kilogram to around 1,500 joules per kilogram. Continued low-level theta E, that's heat and moisture, advection to the southeast of a MCV, that is a mesoscale convective vortice, which is the spin that's causing this in the complex of storms across central Indiana, should sustain or slightly increase in stability despite the loss of diurnal heating. Diurnal means daytime. So what this is saying from the Storm Prediction Center is that despite us losing some of the daytime heating, we still have enough ingredients for the potential of a tornado watch, which looks like it is being expanded south of the Ohio River here. So additionally, a favorable kinematic environment, meaning wind environment, is increasing towards Louisville, will remain into the late evening hours. Thus, as the upstream supercells that we're talking about right now in southern India move into the region, the threat of tornadoes will persist. A new tornado watch will likely be needed within the hour. So there you go, Zachary. You are on it, keeping me on it as well. So, and that's what this new watch box, right, I believe is what we're looking at right here. We'll probably see this pop up in just a second. See this square right there? So that's probably going to include Louisville and some points to the south. I probably already got that. There we go. So, okay, so this includes, I saw a new one out for northern portions of Kentucky. Okay, so now we have got a tornado watch until midnight for Meade, Bullitt, in Jefferson County in Louisville, in Kentucky, Oldham, Trimble, Spencer, Shelby, Henry, Franklin, Lexington. So kind of along 64 in one county south is in the new tornado watch area because this is holding together. So if you look at where we have tornado warnings and you push those east, the Storm Prediction Center. And by the way, the Storm Prediction Center is a division of the National Weather Service. Their one big job is to look across the United States to see where severe weather might happen. obviously they coordinate with our local National Weather Services and they decide where these watches need to be placed. So what we're going to see is the purple area there being dropped to the south to include Meade and Bullitt and Jefferson and Spencer and Shelby and Oldham and Henry and Trimble counties, and I don't see Carroll County in there, and points to the east as well. So right now we have this tornado warning that expires in 18 minutes, and that goes to just north of Pekin in east central Washington County, Indiana. This one expires in 3 minutes. I wasn't seeing any crazy rotation the last time we checked this. Let's go back to the velocity. You're looking for really, really bright spots here, and that is the color palette indicating in excess of 60-mile-per-hour winds, but also gate-to-gate shear, which would be tornadic activity. And I'm sorry if this gets a little crazy. I'm kind of going back and forth and zooming in and out. I'm just looking quickly for rotation. And the best rotation still looks to be like around Ferdinand, Indiana, and southern Du Bois County along Interstate 64. And that is moving to the east into northern Perry County. If that holds together, and what I'm talking about is this right here. And if that holds together, sometimes they can kind of dissipate and then they kind of spin back up. So they're necessarily not on the ground all the time. That was at one point observed tornado. If that continues down 64, that would be a heads up for Leavenworth and western Crawford County in Indiana. Hopefully that stays south of English, south of Birdseye. And, hopefully it doesn't hold together once it gets closer to Corydon and Harrison counties. All right. But overall, this threat is along and north of 64. You guys south? Doesn't look like a big deal. All right, we haven't done this in a while. Let's bring up the HRRR high-resolution rapid refresh weather model. And if you want to play along, you can go to extolmag.com. And there's an interactive map there with warnings and watches and storm tracks and radar and lightning. It's got all the stuff you'll need right there. Okay, so we go to future radar. And wait for it to pop up. I'm going to go to model. I'm going to go to HRRR, go to reflectivity. And we're going to go back in time to, where are we at? 9:30. So this is 10. So I would say this needs to be, again, shoved a little bit farther south. I would say maybe 20 miles more south is where we have it really, but doing a pretty good job on this complex of storms. This is at 11 p.m. and then midnight and then 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and 3 a.m. So here's the problem, my friends that are all watching. Thanks for the like or the subscribe or the follow or the share on whatever platform you might be watching from. We appreciate the support here on Extol Weather and Extol Media and on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine. And if you find this content valuable, we appreciate your support. But this is the continuation of heavy downpours for maybe the next several hours, and that leads to a flash flooding potential. Not good if you have any travel plans late tonight. And not good anyway. Too much rain over too short a period of time. Just not good. So that's a problem for the I-64 corridor in north, especially late tonight. And here we are at 3 a.m. on the HRRR. We go ahead in time. This is 4 a.m. We do not want this to back build, meaning you just get the storms to keep bubbling up on the backside. Not for severe weather potential, but for the potential of flooding. Not great. Flash flooded warnings are bad, but when you get like emergency flash flood warnings like Lanesville, super bad. So we don't want that. And we live in a hilly area. That's the problem. If you're on a flat cornfield, this would not be a big deal. But flash flooding, and when we got the hills and the hollers around our area, it becomes a different situation. This is at 6 o'clock in the morning. Here's 7 o'clock, 8 a.m. right here. We still have some scattered showers. Not worried really about severe weather in the early morning, but we still have this slow moving system moving through that keeps some rain chances through tomorrow morning. This is at 11 a.m. And then we should trend drier, it looks like, by tomorrow afternoon. This is around 1 p.m. All right. I wanted to give you a look into the future there briefly. I do want to get back to the live situation because that's what's going on right now. We only have this tornado warning for another 13 minutes there in east central Washington County, Indiana. 13 more minutes for this one around Paoli and French Lick. Tornado warning in that area. And also this tornado warning just along and south of Interstate 64. That's just south of Du Bois County. That goes until for 13 more minutes as well. All right. And again, it hasn't popped up yet, but we're going to see more counties included in that tornado warned area. I'm going to go back to extolmag.com. I'm going to look at some comments, and I'm going to go ahead and reboot my radar program to give it a little refresher. And again, 9:33, June 21st, another severe weather event here in mid to late June, first day of summer. And this is more like a kind of a late spring weather pattern. I mean, we're not too far from spring, so this is the first day of summer. But, you know, that summer pattern hasn't locked in yet because we still have the jet stream cruising over the region, which is giving us this severe weather potential. The jet stream is just a little too far south for this time of the year, and that's why we are getting these severe weather events. Hey, Keith, no problem there. I knew I was going to have to celebrate most of my Father's Day yesterday. And Scott Jones there in Pekin, stay safe. Terry and Jeff, thanks for watching. Sandy, how far south? I would say not. I mean, later on tonight, the severe weather threat's going to go down. We'll still have a flooding issue, but there will be some storms. I would say a county south of Interstate 64 is where most of this is going to be, and north. So hopefully I pointed that out earlier. Fern Valley area, Louisville, when's it going to hit? Looks like maybe within an hour or so. Let's see where we're at here with the radar. Just, oops. Let me, bear with me. So this is moving east at 40. You know, you'll get rain before an hour, but the stronger thunderstorms probably 1 to 2 hours out for you guys there in the Fern Valley and Valley Station area. How far south? Again, maybe a county south of Interstate 64. Hey, Emmanuel, thanks for tuning in here. And always I appreciate your support on the show every morning. Sandy Pritchard, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Jeannie. Radio going off with the thunderstorm warning. Oh, yes. There is a good point there from Beverly Hagist. I get caught up with the tornado warnings, but you also have severe thunderstorm warnings, which can produce damaging winds. So this goes until 10 p.m. Right now it's 9:35. So that includes, I mean, there's a lot going on this map. I get it. But if you can look closely here, there is a severe thunderstorm warning until 10 p.m. for Scottsburg. That goes into West Clark County, northern Clark County. There's another severe thunderstorm warning that, and again, I'm going to pop this up on, we're going to get a better view here, I think, right here. All right, we're going to clean this up. Here it is. Salem to Scottsburg. South, I'd say Henryville, new tornado warning, it looks like. Yep. Here we go, new tornado warning. This is moving east at 37 miles per hour. This one extends from the Salem, Indiana, in the near Pekin, Indiana one. This does include just north of Borden. So this would be, I would say, near the South Boston, over to Henryville. And that expires in 39 minutes. Here's a track heading to LaGrange. Let me see if I can get another track on here. So heading towards, I don't like these tracks. Let me do a manual track. I can do a better job. Bear with me here. Be seeking shelter, by the way, of course, if there is a tornado warning for your area. All right. Give me 1 second. We're going to pop up a manual tornado track here for you. Tornado warning track. So here we go. We're going to move this off to the east at about 38 miles per hour. So there you go. That would be Bedford, Kentucky at about 10:24, if that held together. So you're looking at about an hour out there. Campbellsburg, 10:34 in Kentucky, by the way. So this is moving through a pretty rural area. And looks like a new tornado warning here until 10:15, moving east at around 30 miles per hour. This does include Hardinsburg once again. This is northern Crawford County, north of English, just north of Milltown, just west of Palmyra. So that's northern Crawford County, southern sections of Orange County, southwestern Washington County. New tornado warning for northern Perry County, far southwestern Crawford County. And that goes until 10:15. These are all radar indicated. We basically got these little spin up opportunities. And again, I was wanting to go to extolmag.com/weather to check out some stuff, but we just have all of these tornado warnings popping off. So let me get to some reflectivity. Do we see some spin? All right, there's some spin here. So this is red, and this is green, and that's a couplet. And you've got some rotation here just to west of Marengo. So please be seeking shelter if you're in Marengo. There's Indiana 64. It's right over 37 right now. If you're in northwestern Crawford County, that's what we're talking about here. Just to give you kind of some bearings here, let me draw a distance line from Hardinsburg to where there's a rotation. About 9 miles southwest of Hardinsburg is where we're talking about that. Get rid of that. Add us back on. And then Milltown. You got the canoe in there in Milltown. 8 miles west of Milltown is where there's a potential of some rotation there. This is, again, radar indicated. It doesn't mean there's a tornado on the ground, but that I just want to investigate a little bit more on that tornadic potential. And the National Weather Service continues to warn on this potential spin up. It looks like broad rotation to me. I don't see anything real tight as far as rotation, but that goes through northeastern Clark County and far southern Jefferson County, far southern Scott County in Indiana. There along 160. And that expires at 10:15, so that goes for like another 35 minutes. So that would be Otisco, north of Charlestown, up Indiana 3, 160 from Charlestown over to Henryville, all those areas there in northern Clark County under a tornado warning. Obviously, be seeking shelter if a warning is issued in your safe place. I'm going to check here. I'll go back to the regular reflectivity so you can kind of check out what's going on. There we go. And let me just take off the warnings so we can clear up the map a little bit. And then we can pop them back on. All right. What is this? Flash flood warning as well. There you go. That's what we talked about as well in Orange and Washington counties. We got the double, triple threat here tonight. Floods, isolated tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, maybe a little hail mixed in, lots of lightning and thunder. We'll get through it as we always do. I'm looking at some of the comments, see if we have any some of the reports here from the National Weather Service chat. I don't see any reports of anything yet. Let me bring up the reports. Here's the local storm reports. I don't see any in our area except for southwestern Du Bois County. A storm chaser reported a tornado there at 64 and 231. And a storm chaser reported a tornado on the ground near Dale, Indiana. The public and the storm chaser reported that to emergency management. And that's this cell right here. That's moving into northern Perry County, and there's still rotation with that. Again, this isn't typical like hook echo style radar indicated stuff. All right, I'm sorry. I'm trying to. Why is that not getting? Bear with me a second. Oh, I get it. I get it. This program is on my last nerve. So there's the rotation there in northern Perry County. Possible tornado on the ground there. All right. I need to. Let's go into a different thing here. All right, there we go. This is the overall radar and satellite. Crazy the amount of tornado warnings here, guys. Here at 943, all the way out into Illinois along 64. There are still tornado warnings. This is just not a great setup here for us. But again, we hope things will weaken with time. But we got to get this. What's going to happen here, unfortunately, this is going to turn into just a back building area of flooding concern once the tornado concerns go away. It's just such a sluggish, slow-moving system, just tied into a bunch of moisture levels as well. High humidity. This is the dew point map. So I don't know if if you notice recently, the dew points weren't bad, like the humidity wasn't bad, but we got tropical air that just rushed into the area and just fuel like crazy for these storms. I'm gonna, in fact, we're just gonna do a quick little analysis, and this is, we're now almost up to 10 p.m. I need to bring up, and I'll get to your comments here in just a second. I know I'm kind of skipping around on different stuff, but I'm just looking at a lot of different products. Yeah, so this is the energy for storms, and it's crazy. It's high, especially this as we get into the nighttime and after sunset. And then we look at storm relative helicity. This is the spin for storms. We have spin for days. You've got severe weather ingredients is what I'm saying. Let's get back to the live radar here. Okay. Live sweep. Man, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tornado warnings in this view. Does not include severe thunderstorm warnings that kind of surround the tornado warnings as well. We are seeing some spin here in northwestern Clark County. Let me take a look at how the reflectivity, the velocity is doing. So it looks like there's some rotation here in northern Clark County. Looks like that is near Henryville. And obviously, if the warning's going off, be seeking shelter. We've got some rotation here as well. As we were talking about near Marengo. So be seeking shelter with that tornado warning that continues for another half hour. That includes Fredericksburg and just to the west of Palmyra. And this is all happening just to the northwest of Louisville. You're probably seeing quite the lightning show if you're in Louisville, because we can again look at all the lightning strikes here that are happening. These are cloud to ground lightning strikes with the interactive radar at extolmag.com/weather. You've got warnings, you've got alerts, you've got storm tracks, winds, temps. Look at that. It's still in the 80s. We're fueling the storms with that south wind right into these clusters of storms. Here is one of the latest warnings that continues for another half hour or so. It says take cover now, move to a basement or interior room, lowest level of your floor or sturdy building, avoid windows. If you're outdoors, mobile home or vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter. Protect yourself from flying debris. This is Clark County, Indiana, northern Clark County, Indiana, Jefferson County, Indiana, southern Jefferson County, Indiana. Excuse me. Looks like southern Scott County in Indiana. The National Weather Service has issued in Louisville has issued a tornado warning for south central Jefferson County and south central Indiana, northern Clark County and south central Indiana, southern Scott County and eastern Washington County until 10:15. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 9 miles east of Salem, moving east at 35 miles per hour. It is radar indicated tornado. This is not a confirmed tornado on the ground. And again, you can pull that right up for yourself, like I'm doing right here at extolmag.com/weather. And again, just a slew of tornado warnings lining up along Interstate 64 and north. Steve, yep, we got that tornado watch that has been extended south to include, you can see those areas in purple, and the highlighted area now includes more areas in Kentucky. But generally, so far, it's been trending along and north of Interstate 64. And Lenata, I hope I said that right, Forrest, we live in PRP. Normally we get our storms from Harrison County. Is there anything we need to worry about? I would say you've got to stay weather alert for tonight, because there is on 64. We can do the little distance tool from PRP. I'm sorry. Somehow I got muted there. Sorry about that. I don't know how long ago I got muted, but sorry about that. I got muted for a second there. I muted myself. Christian Walker, we're back on here. Sorry about that. I just saw that I was muted. So we got this big, bad cluster of storms, tornado watch from Bullitt County north. We got little spin up opportunities in the middle of this. I haven't seen reports so far from the National Weather Service of a tornado on the ground. I'm checking back and forth from your comments to the National Weather Service chat. I'm looking over the chats right now. Hearing reports of high water near Paoli. High water is going to be a problem. I think we'll see more flash flood warnings. And again, we've got some rotation here that I don't like to see. This is just north of Charlestown, Indiana. Do you see this right here? That is some rotation right there. And that is, oops. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. 5 miles northwest of Charlestown. So right around the Otisco area is where there's the potential of a tornado on the ground. This is radar indicated so far, but there is some tight rotation right there that I wanted to point out to you guys. And that is a tornado warning that continues for 20 more minutes, moving to the east at 37 miles per hour. And again, one of the main threats as well is the flooding potential. We do have a flash flood warning for Orange and much of Washington County, Indiana. That goes until 12:30 a.m. There is a tornado warning here in just west of Palmyra. So you're talking southwestern Washington County and northern Harrison County. And that goes until, that's for 20 more minutes. All right. Michael, I get it, but if there's a tornado warning, please be seeking shelter. Yeah, in New Albany, I would say the next hour or so, be watching out for the potential of some severe weather. Thanks for letting me know about that earlier. Margulis Gonzalez, same in Charlestown, alarm going off. That is good. There is some rotation nearby you. There's nothing happening in Taylorsville, Kentucky. Looks like it'll stay mostly north of you. Sirens going off in Sellersburg. Thanks for letting me know about that. Fern Creek, nothing happening there. It's north of you guys. Thank you, Debbie, for tuning in here. And Bullitt County, you're right on the edge. I would say most of this is staying north of you as far as severe weather is concerned, but we're keeping an eye on it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tornado warnings along and just north of Interstate 64. And Meade County, I would say you're just right on the edge. This might sag a little bit farther south to maybe start to get you in a little bit of a heavy rain potential, isolated damaging winds, but you're just right on the edge of that tornado watch. And Lori, as I mentioned, about 45 minutes, an hour, there could be a storm heading your direction. Happy to help out here, Christian. And the knobs there, obviously the rain's very close. I mean, the rain is already moving into portions of the knobs, and you're probably seeing the lightning and thunder. I mean, we've got some heavy rain coming down in western Clark County, southern Washington County. We're going to see more areas under some flood warnings here tonight. We still have some rotation in this tornado-warned storm that is just north of Charlestown. So about 4 miles north of Charlestown, you got Otisco area. This is moving to the east. So that would put it, looks like just south of Hanover. That's right there, just north of Charlestown. Oops, that's kind of an older track right there. We'll hit the play button. Watch how this is playing out here for a second. Bullitt County, so far everything is mostly north of you there, Skylar. Yeah, you guys aren't getting much. Here, let me go ahead and do the big view with the rad sat view. Just to show everybody what's going on. Yeah, Indy, not much happening anymore. Big blob of rain and storms and some tornadic potential here and there is in southern Indiana right now. And this also has some, there's not many storm reports so far, thankfully. I'm keeping an eye on the National Weather Service chat. I'm keeping an eye on your comments. So let me know when it's safe to do, if there's any damage. Probably safer inside. It's a good bet. Hey, Jim Schultz, thanks for tuning in. Let's go golfing soon. Is it done in Spencer, Indiana? I'm trying to think where Spencer, Indiana is. I'm blanking right now. What county are we talking about? Lisa? So, and I'm probably looking at some older comments. I apologize. I'm trying to keep up the best I can. Going back to the reflectivity here. So again, tornado watch for counties along and north of Interstate 64 until midnight tonight. We do have a handful of tornado warnings that we're keeping an eye on as well. We've got some spin here north of Charlestown, Indiana. That's northeastern Clark County. If that holds together, that goes right over the river into, looks like the southern Trimble County, Kentucky area into Bedford, so watch out there. Is this a new tornado warning? Till 10:05, new tornado warning. Moving east at around 30 miles per hour. Once again for just south of Paoli. Oh, man, I apologize for all the colors that are happening on this map. It's pretty wild. Evening. Southwestern Washington County, northern Crawford County, southeastern Orange County. There's a new tornado warning. So that includes Milltown, Fredericksburg, Hardinsburg. Let me try to bring up, let's see if we see some rotation. A little bit of rotation, not real super tight. I don't see any debris necessarily with any of this, which is good. All right, I'm going to leave the live radar here for a second. Owen County, Kentucky, don't see much for you guys. Utica, Nate says just got some rain there. Stacy, you're welcome. Perry County, Kentucky is under a tornado warning in northern Perry County. That storm has had a history of actually a tornado on the ground. That is in northern Perry County, tracking just south of Interstate 64. That tornado warning continues for 14 more minutes. That's heading towards the Leavenworth area. That is directly west of Louisville. How far west of Louisville? It is, that rotation is 45 miles west of Louisville right now. Crazy amount of tornado warnings here this evening. All right, just looking over the National Weather Service comments. Anything for Jeff? Allie White says, yes, there are storms heading your way here in the next 45 minutes, hour. If they hold together, there could be some warnings for you. Beverly, thank you for that report. Daughter and son-in-law live in Charlestown, so the power just went out there. Not surprised that we'll get some scattered power outages. Yeah, let me know if you're hearing any reports of any kind of damage or power outages. Let me know about that. Linda, in the Salem, Indiana area. I don't see rotation for your area, and it looks like the worst is south of you guys. Just some really heavy rainfall and the potential of some flooding to watch out for. This is a mega amount of rain north of 64. This is, we got to watch out for these areas right here. So that's Floyd, Harrison, Crawford, Du Bois, Northern Perry, Southern Orange, southern half of Washington, much of Clark County. That's training of thunderstorms going over the same areas. So we got to watch out for some high flood potential in these areas here for tonight. Just got some good thunder there. Becky Lynn saying, will the storms be in Valley Station? You know, you're kind of on the edge there in Valley Station right here. But you probably end up getting some rain by later on tonight. I would say the threat of severe weather is really low for you, though. And in Carrollton, Kentucky, you're going to get rain. I would say the severe weather threat's going to be pretty low for you overall. Linda, happy to be here talking about it. Kimberly says, hearing Henryville fire confirmed tornado. Haven't seen that report yet, but if you heard it, I believe you. Thanks. I appreciate you letting me know. Melvin hardened up near the Salem, Indiana, 1.3 inches of rainfall so far. Still coming down there. So 9:57. So this one is tornado observed in northeastern Clark County from the National Weather Service, because they're saying that what we call the CC, the correlation coefficient, that's where you see the potential of some debris. I don't see it here necessarily. I don't know. Let me see. Let me click on that. Tornado warning observed in northeastern Clark County. That's just northeast of Charlestown. That would include the New Wash area. Be seeking shelter. Obviously, we don't have to think this through too much. If you got a warning, please be seeking shelter. Just take shelter. If the warning goes off, I'm here to give you a little advanced time frame, I hope. Show you the radar, show you what's going on. But if there's a warning, and the National Weather Service has put out a warning, and your phone's going off, be seeking shelter in the lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows, and be safe. So the Indiana Clark County Emergency Management says, another 911 caller reporting they see a tornado north of Charlestown in a field near 2400 of Market Street. Flash flood warning coming for Du Bois and Crawford and Perry counties. So it looks like someone saw a tornado here north of Charlestown, Indiana. That is what we've been talking about here in northeastern Clark County. If that holds together, that could be moving into like right around the Oldham in Bedford County line. Let me go ahead and put a track on this one. So right here, these are all moving pretty much due east around 30 miles per hour. Campbellsburg, the only ones that pops up here at around 1040. But it's going to be kind of between right around the southern Trimble County, northern Oldham County line. Once this moves over the Ohio River, that's where it's heading. All right, let me go ahead and get rid of that track. We've got heavy rain coming down at my house. This is Campbellsburg at 1047, Newcastle 1052 on that storm ETA right there. That is right around Indiana 3, north of Charlestown, is where we have that rotation, potential tornado on the ground. I guess a report that it is on the ground. That's the only one I've got a report of. So that's an observed tornado. That's not radar indicated. That's observed. So that's a more serious situation. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning as well. This storm motion is still east at around 30 miles per hour. Wind gusts over 60 miles per hour possible. That's for this leading edge of green right there, heading towards Prospect. So looking at Jeff, parts of New Albany, Clarksville, Sellersburg, Charlestown, wind gusts possibly in excess of 60 miles per hour. Some tree limb damage, some power line damage, some power outages are going to be possible. And we still have, here's an alert. What do we get here? Oh, that's that severe thunderstorm warning I just gave you. All right. Let me get back to the regular radar reflectivity that you're used to. Again, these are slow movers. These are not trucking along, and it's incredible. Look at all the tornado warnings out west, all the way to Illinois. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tornado warnings all lined up west down Interstate 64. Don't remember a time I've seen this many tornado warnings on the Interstate 64 corridor. It's just like these cells, these supercells are like spinning like a top. It is crazy. Any color, Hannah, on this velocity is wind. The green is heading toward the radar, which is in Louisville. So it's heading like this way. When you get the red and green next to each other, you've got shear, and you got what we call a couplet, and you got rotation. So this is wind heading away from the radar, wind into the radar. And then you can actually take a look at the wind speeds, which I think are actually going to be higher than what it's showing there. So some 40-mile-an-hour winds. We're zooming in. So I think we'll transition from this kind of tornadic threat over the next hour or two to more of a flooding threat. And Beverly saying the radio going off for the thunderstorm warning. Yes, indeed. And that's heading towards Prospect, so possibly of a tornado. So as we zoom in here, it looks like for that. So the tornado threat is north of Prospect there, Hannah. But you've got a severe thunderstorm warning because of those winds right there. There could be some isolated damaging wind gusts. All right, let me get rid of that. Let's get back to the regular radar here. So there you can see the rain is bearing down on Louisville as well. But, I mean, it is coming down. It is cats and dogs. It is a gully washer. It is a toad strangler out there with the heavy rainfall in a zone. I mean, you're in Seymour and you're in Bedford. It's not nearly as bad. Not as bad in Paoli, Salem, the severe weather threat south of you. Scottsburg, the severe weather threat south of you for now. South of Madison, Indiana. It's this just generalized kind of area along and north of Interstate 64 where it is just the worst right now because you've got spin up potential. You've got flash flood potential. We're going to see more of these flash flood warnings with time as well tonight here. And again, that's why I just wanted to pop on and give you guys a heads up what's happening because there's just a lot going on. All right, let me get rid of some of the stuff. I'm going to kind of go to full screen here for a second. Weather like this makes me hate being an adult. I hear ya. New Albany is going to get heavy rain, and there's 2 tornado warnings just out west of New Albany. So don't put your alert down just yet as we are in the potential. Hail, I haven't seen any reports of hail, DJ, yet, but there's potential up to like 3/4 of an inch. I haven't seen any severe hail yet, but I know why you might be asking that question. Perry Park, Kentucky, don't see any issues there. Looking over some of the questions here. Coming down hard in the Perry Crossing, Columbus Man area there. Yes, indeed. Thanks for that report. Troy Simpkins said, I heard Henryville confirmed a tornado there. Thank you for that report as well. Mackenzie Stargell saying, what about Clarksville and southern Indiana like New Albany? Heavy rain and watching out. You're under tornado watch till midnight. So I would say in the next hour or two, just in case, don't let your guard down just yet. So I'd say a couple more hours, maybe just an hour, where you have this tornado threat And then we're just talking about flood threat after that. Same with what Troy was asking about right there. Tell City, Indiana, how's the storms? So Tell City, it's all north of you. There's Tell City right there. So all the worst of it is just hugging Interstate 64. What a rough ride if you're like going to St. Louis or out towards Evansville. I mean, bunch of rain out that way. All right. Got a lot of folks in the Valley Station PRP area. Becky Lynn asking about that. So far, it's tracking just north. And if it stays on that directly east path, you might get clipped by that cell right there here in about a half hour to 45 minutes. So we got to watch that one, see if it continues to have rotation. There is still a tornado warning on that storm, and that's for 47 more minutes. And that goes right up to Harrison County, Indiana, just west of Corden, with that tornado warned storm right there. So when we do the distance tool from Corden over here to Leavenworth, actually, I'll put it right where the rotation is, just northwest of Alton. That is 20 miles west of Corden, where there's a tornado warned storm. That one had an observed tornado earlier, that same cell. So again, sometimes they drop down, they pop back up. And again, if you're tuning in here, I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here on a Father's Day, June 21st, 10:13. As we're expecting some late night activity, we're getting that late night activity, unfortunately, with some big bad storms across the area here. And again, there's just kind of clusters of storms. There's some rotation every now and again, and we hope that here pretty soon we lose the tornado. I don't see any real tight rotation. Although we've got some Henryville reports of tornado touchdown there. And as I bring up the National Weather Service chat, they were just talking about the downstream tornado coming for Crawford in northern Meade County. And it looks like that tornado warning going to expire for Clark County, so that's good there. All right. And we'll kind of go back and forth. We'll kind of reset, let you know what's going on. Look at that. That is training of thunderstorms. You got storms all the way back here to Illinois. And where are they going? Around 64. So a lot of you here south of Louisville don't give a crap. Not much going on. If you're north of Scottsburg, no big whoop. But man, if you're in this zone, a county or two north or south of Interstate 64, it's rocking and rolling. Flash flood warnings, tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. Flash flood potential. That's the zone we don't want to be in. And guess what? I'm right in the middle of that zone. I'm in Borden Valley. It is red and thundering and heavy rain right over the top of my house. Look at me. I'm right in the middle of this nastiness right there. Right there is where we are. And man, can our neighborhood flood. Fun stuff. All right, everybody be safe tonight. Number one. So we've dropped the Clark County tornado warning. That's good. All right, we got a win here. We've got a win. So here we go. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 10:45, another half hour. That includes, oh my gosh, that was a pretty cool looking lightning bolt. I don't know if you can hear that, but that was pretty vivid. That includes Charlestown, includes much of Floyd County, Clark County, Oldham County, southern Trimble County. Parts of Metro Louisville in that severe thunderstorm warning. It's not a tornado warning. That includes St. Matthews, includes Middletown, Barber Mead, Prospect, Crestwood, LaGrange. All that yellow area right here is what we're talking about. This is for winds in excess of around 60 miles per hour. Hail less than 3/4 of an inch. So far we only have, let me get rid of some of these warnings. And then we're going to get rid of the tornado warnings. I'm going to leave up this flash flood warnings because we're getting some flash flood. That's what I want to look at here. So Salem over to Paoli. So much of Washington County and Orange County under the flash flood warning until 12:30, and then you got much of Crawford County and Du Bois County under a flash flood warning until 1:15. And I do suspect we'll get more of those flash flood warnings. I think what is happening now, I'll bring back up the severe thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warnings. We're starting to transition more into that flood threat. Here is the one tornado warning that we have out right now. This is for northeastern Perry County, southern Crawford County. This is near the Alton area, if you know where that's at, New Amsterdam, southwest of Corden. Let me put a distance tool on this. So if there's a tornado on the ground, it's 20 miles west-southwest of Corden is where I see that spin-up potential. Let's go ahead and look at the velocity mode. And yeah, there's rotation right here. There is definitely rotation right there. So heading towards the Leavenworth area in New Amsterdam, as I just said, be seeking shelter if the warning has been issued for your area. Still a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing as well. This one goes for another 12 minutes. Let me put back the regular reflectivity. Yeah, there's a hail product on here. DJ was asking about that. Let me see if maybe there's not. Oh, probability of severe hail. Let's see if that'll load up. That's crazy too. There's still tornado warnings all the way back out into Illinois, right along Interstate 64. All right, that product's not loading up. I'm giving up on it. All right, let me try. I'll try one more time. Nope, it's not working. Go back to the reflectivity. And also go back to extolmag.com. And we're zooming in here. So a lot of lightning strikes happening. There's a lot of times there's a concentration of lightning with rotation, and we see that here in northeastern Perry County, where there are warnings right there. And we can click on that tornado warning, and that this is take cover now. Move to a basement or interior room on the lowest level of your lowest level floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows if you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle. Move to the closest substantial shelter to protect yourself from flying debris. Tornadoes are extremely difficult to see and confirm at night. Do not wait and see a tornado, obviously. Take cover now. This is for Crawford County in Indiana, Perry County in Indiana, and Meade, far northern Meade County in Kentucky. So the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Crawford County, northeastern Perry County, northwestern Meade until 11 p.m. Eastern Time. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located 15 miles southwest of English, moving east at 25. Is radar indicated, is not confirmed on the ground. All right. And that is information that's right there for you anytime. There's regional radars, watches and warnings, and again, all kinds of different stuff that you can play around with and interact with here at extolmag.com/weather. The regular red color, those are the active tornado warnings, and then those are the past tornado warnings and flash flood warnings. Tons of flash flood warnings, by the way, are being issued. All right. And again, a lot of resources here for you anytime right there at extolmag.com/weather. Okay, back to the live radar sweep. One tornado warning in our area for 39 more minutes. There is some pretty good rotation there right around the Alton, Indiana area right there. Right past the Horseshoe Bend of the Ohio River. Potential tornado right there about to cross over the Ohio River or just dance along the Ohio River. And then we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for a portion of Louisville and Oldham County, southern Trimble County, and Clark County. Looking at the velocities. Overall, the winds don't look too crazy except for near Alton. And there is the motion moving directly east. Okay, just looking at some of the comments. Probably need to catch up here a little bit. Lisa Cutter asks about Windy Hills, Kentucky. Where is Windy Hills? I gotta get better with my geography here. Oh, on the northeast side. Yeah, there's severe thunderstorm warning. Some isolated damaging wind gusts possible. Some cloud to ground lightning and thunder, but no tornado warning at this time for that area there. Hannah saying, if I had to put my money on it, what's the chance of a tornado touchdown at Louisville tonight? I would say like 2%. Pretty low. Hey, thanks, Christian, for the shout out there. Noah, thanks for tuning in for the St. Croix area in Indiana. Scott County, thankfully, Jennifer, this severe threat's moving south of you. I'm about 10 minutes behind on these comments. In Switzerland County, it looks like that severe weather threat south of you as well. Get some rain. Micah Potts, do you think this will hit St. Matthews? Looks like it's heading southeast a bit. Yeah, heavy rain, some gusty winds. I think the tornado threat is low. Molly, anything about Warren, Kentucky, Indiana? Thank you, Kimberly, very much. Matt is in Paineville, Kentucky, just outside of Brandenburg. Should I go ahead and take shelter, or will miss me to the north? Good question there. I think it's right. I mean, that northern finger of Meade County is where we're talking about. I'll leave it right there. So New Amsterdam to Alton and north. Right there's that rotation. So it looks like it's going to stay north of Brandenburg. Brandenburg's right here. So hopefully that helps you out with that viewpoint right there. Northern Perry, I think, is in good shape now. I just saw your comment there, Noah Cooper. Kinda. There's going to be flash flooding potential. And hopefully the spin up stops happening here in just a second. Christian, thank you very much. Hey, we don't all do well with maps. No big deal, Hannah. And Dakota, no big deal. I try my best to highlight things and be as clear as I possibly can. And Hannah, you're right about that. Tornadoes are bad, but especially at night. Nighttime warnings are the worst because people go to sleep. Thankfully, a lot of us probably are not asleep for the most part yet. Karen with the unhappy faces here. I'm trying to. Where is it just going to disappear, or does it? I'm not sure what that means. Hannah. Beverly said, my daughter said there's flooding in Charlestown. Not surprised by hearing flooding reports anywhere in that zone that we're talking about. How is this radar, Hannah? This is a live radar sweep. It's up to date. Siren Mary, this is at 10:21, 4 minutes ago. Sirens going off in Austin, Indiana. Are we still under a warning? So that was because of a flash flood warning, I believe. Yeah, so we've got a new flash flood warning that includes a big area, portions of Crawford, Floyd, most of Clark and Scott in southern Jefferson County under the flash flood warning. Okay, I'm gonna keep also looking for reports too. I don't see too many reports happening. and that's good. I don't see too many reports. Okay, near Indian Hills. I gotcha. Yeah, just the potential of some isolated damaging wind gusts and some heavy rainfall there. Beverly's got a river in the backyard in Borden. And Marengo, it's heavy rain flooding potential is what I'm seeing around your area. Greg Robertson coming back from Florida, I-65 North, can see lightning from Tennessee, Kentucky line. You betcha. Way up north. My son just went all the way south to Gulf Shores on 65 South today. Luckily, they had a good weather stretch. Flash flood warning in Borden in Clark County. Yes, indeed, Beverly. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think you're good there, Christian, up in Indianapolis. This is all for us here in southern Indiana and northern Kentucky. Is what we're watching right now. So we've got this tornado warning that continues. This right along the Ohio River near Alton is what we're watching right there. Tornado warning for 30 more minutes. There is some rotation that's heading into northern Meade County. All right, so our friends there, Alton to New Amsterdam, heads up. Looks like it's just south of Leavenworth. And then still some more warnings out west. But generally, kind of looking at a flood event happening in this thin corridor. Do I have a lightning count? I would say hundreds of lightnings. Hundreds. I don't have an exact count, though. Jordan, being deep here. Today is just tomorrow's yesterday. With that being said, be safe, everyone. I'm looking at the National Weather Service chat right now. Just 1 second. Indiana Clark County saying no structural damage or injuries reported yet. So this is the update from the Louisville National Weather Service at 10:28, 1 minute ago. Line of severe convection continues to push eastward across southern Indiana at this hour. We've seen an increase of low-level wind field over the last hour. Storm relative helicity increases for show about 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram. With the MCV, the mesoscale convective vortex moving into east central Indiana. Theta E advection and the nocturnal low-level jet continue to support ample buoyancy and sustained current convection despite the loss of daytime heating. I feel like I just read this. Training of convection back along the I-64 corridor may result in increased hydro threat hydro meaning flood threat across portions of southern Indiana over the next couple of hours. Probably issue a tornado soon for Harrison County, Indiana, still monitoring its current progress over Perry County. That was just now issued. So would not be surprised if portions of Harrison County here get an extension of this tornado warning because there's still some good rotation with this. Yeah. That's heading towards New Amsterdam. So if you know anybody there in northern Meade County, there's the brand new tornado warning, by the way, from the National Weather Service. That goes till 11:15, 45 more minutes. That's moving east at about 30 miles per hour. And that includes southwestern Harrison County, northern Meade County. Be seeking shelter if you're in that area for the potential of a spin-up tornado. I'll try to put a track on that, but that's a very rural area. We might not have any towns that pop up. Hey, but we'll try. So the rotation is here. It's moving east at about 30 miles per hour. So New Amsterdam at 10:40. Elizabeth, Indiana, 11:15. Heads up there in Valley Station at 11:25 if that holds together. All right. Floyd County under this tornado watch, Renee, until midnight. And there are Still the flood threat mostly for your area. And just watching this tornado potential moving into southwestern Harrison County. I'm just getting some text of some heavy rain coming down. This is a flooder. We're getting it lower tornado threat into flood threat criteria now. It's coming down nonstop. So we got flash flood warnings all over the place. I shouldn't say all over the place, but around where we live. Chris Williams, my former colleague right here. Ben, because of old habits die hard, we stopped in Salem when we heard you report the tornado warning and hunker down in the restaurant here. Lots of green sky and lightning struck. Once things settled, got back on 65 South. Lightning and sections are very hard rain. Traffic still going at about 45 to 55 miles per hour, approaching the Louisville area now. Thank you for keeping us informed. I've been listening to you all evening, my friend. Thank you very much, Christian, with Corsair Kids. Support them. All right, Luke, good thing there. This is northern Meade County, so northwest of Brandenburg, where we have rotation near the Alton area, heading to New Amsterdam. It is a healthy supercell, tracking east at 30 miles per hour. To give you some perspective, here is PRP, and here's the tornado, potential tornado that is 28 miles west of PRP. It's moving east at 28 miles per hour. That would be exactly 1 hour if it holds together. Heads up PRP Valley Station. In Elizabeth, Indiana, southern Harrison County. That is where that potential spin-up tornado is heading right now. And other than that, this is becoming a flood situation. And let's put on the future radar. And then we're probably going to start to wrap things up gradually here. And of course, if I'm not covering what you want to cover, there are some excellent meteorologists on television, I'm sure, on TV right now that could be helping you out as well. I think there's like 4 or 5 TV stations in Louisville. They all know what they're doing. So if I do turn off here, or if I'm covering more areas than you, or areas that you want to, areas that you're not seeing me cover, that you want to see covered, maybe flip on the TV and see if they're covered what you want to see here. But we're mostly Southern Indiana focused, but we of course cover Kentucky as well. I'm not in competition with anybody. We're just popping in here to give you some free information to let you know the best I can what's happening across the area. So future radar, and I'm going to bring up the HRRR, high resolution rapid refresh weather model. It updates every hour. I'll put up the reflectivity here. I'm going to go back to, it's 10:30 now. Gosh, how long have we been on? Hour and a half, hour, something like that. So there's the big blob of rain that we have, especially along and north of Interstate 64. There it is. This is at 1 a.m. Here's 2 a.m. Here's 3 a.m. So you see that big blob travels down Interstate 64 towards Lexington and eastern Kentucky, and then we're left with some occasional downpours the overnight hours. And so there's the potential for some occasional flooding. This is at 6 o'clock in the morning. Here's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, still some showers potentially around the area. This is at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So scattered showers continue through your Monday morning, June 22nd. Again, happy summertime. Happy summer solstice day, the longest day of the year, Father's Day, U.S. Open today. There's so much going on. And severe weather, too. Carrie Hall, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. And Mark Hilbert here in Elizabeth. We're heading to the tornado shelter here now just in case. Let me get that live radar back up because, yeah, you guys are very near that tornado warned area. So tornado watch along and north of Interstate 64 until midnight. And it's not in Elizabeth yet, but it's just west of Elizabeth, Amsterdam. It does include Corydon, but the worst of it looks like it's south of Corydon. So that's probably waking some of you guys up in the Corydon area. Notice that on the distance tool, the center of circulation is down about 10 to 15 miles southwest of Corden. That live sweep got a little degraded there. We're going to wait for that to come up, but I'm going to bring up the base velocity here. It looks like there's still some rotation there near the New Amsterdam area. Let me bring up the storm relative velocity. Yeah, there's some rotation there near New Amsterdam. Those green and reds next to each other. I don't know if you see this with me here, right there. So that could, if it holds together over the Ohio River, that'll head towards 135 in southern Harrison County. And it's a little ways out. It's moving at about 28 to 30 miles per hour. So it is from Elizabeth, Indiana, about 18 miles west. So you're looking at about a half hour's time to move towards Elizabeth, Indiana, there near the casino. And that is we have one severe thunderstorm warning that continues for 7 more minutes. And then we have this tornado warning in southern Harrison County for 37 more minutes. And if you look out west, south of Interstate 64, along and south of 64, there's west of Perry County, Indiana, there's some more tornado warnings out that way. Happy summertime to Christian Walker. How's New Albany looking? Safe spot with the kids just in case. I mean, I want to get this through your area before I say, hey, it's all good. Because, I mean, this is going to be moving through New Albany. And the safe spot's great. Why not? When you're under tornado watch, there's a tornado warning not too far from you. That's a good play there, Abigail. So I would say hopefully within an hour or so, things will be settling down for you guys. Litchfield, everything's north of you, Lillian. I don't see any severe weather threat for you guys tonight. Middletown, Ohio, Tanya. I'm not sure. We can back out of you and bring up the whole radar and satellite, which we might do it anyway, just to see the total view around the area. Where's Middletown, Ohio? What city is it by? To clear that out. I got so much going on these maps. So that's a severe thunderstorm watch around Covington and Cincinnati. Otisco, Indiana. Thankfully, that tornado warning is east of you guys now. Good call there, Kenny. Abigail, you're welcome. So an hour and 20 more minutes is how long we have this tornado watch. That goes, no, that's until 2 a.m. They extended the time of it for the Kentucky counties there. I believe it's still till midnight for the Indiana. Yeah, it just depends on your location. Some of it's 11 p.m. Some of it's 2 a.m. But the tornado threat's going to continue to go down here tonight. We're going to be talking more about a flooding issue for us for tonight. All right, guys. I'm going to keep an eye a little bit on this latest tornado warning, and then we'll be wrapping things up here pretty soon. Between Cincy and Dayton. Okay, you guys just have a severe thunderstorm watch, and some heavy rain up that way. So I don't even see any warnings for you guys. So just heavy rain. I think you're in good shape. It's all of us here in the I-65 county, north or south of Interstate 64 that have been dealing with the crazy stuff here tonight. Let me bring up reflectivity. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. All right. I'm not seeing, thankfully, with all the activity that we've had, I'm not seeing many reports of damage. And I hope it stays that way. I'm not seeing a lot of power outage reports so far. So that's also good. Sorry, I'm texting my wife good night. Let's see what's happening in the National Weather Service world. Okay. Again, here's the tornado warning that we have. There's still some rotation there. New Amsterdam. That's what we're watching. That's about 15, 20 miles west of PRP. All right. So there's still some good rotation right here. So if you know anybody living in the New Amsterdam area, heads up there. Also, if you know anybody that lives in 135 south of Corden, that's going to be heading that direction. Just a second, I'm messing up my thing here. I'm going to go to velocity again. Sorry, I'm drawing all over stuff. Some broad rotation right here. Let's see if we have. So, if there were a tornado, it would be near the New Amsterdam area. Right there is where there's potential of a spin-up tornado. I'm going to put a little track on that. So there we go. New Middletown now, basically. Elizabeth 1117. Valley Station 1128. PRP 1130. Fairdale 1140. Maybe it seems a little late to me. Let me go ahead and put the reflectivity back on here. Do you see that hook right here, guys? There's still a hook right here. There's some spin right there near New Amsterdam. That's what we're watching. That's where there's a tornado warning. That's heading towards 135, 337. Heads up early there for Elizabeth. That guy's been holding together for a while here. Just spinning. See if we get a loop of this. Not a great loop. What do we got here? Donna, thank you. Georgetown, heavy rain flooding. The tornado potential south of you right now. You're welcome. Tanya, tornado siren went off in Brandenburg, even though that is north of you, Steve. Milltown looks like flooding threats. Tornado activity south of you, Priscilla. Zach saying these storms that fire up behind the main line overnight, especially southern India, this tornado threat. Yes, tornado threat goes to zilch overnight, but flooding threat, which is a bunch of rainmakers. I think a lot of this rotation should be slowing down here pretty soon. But hey, there you can see still a little rotation there near New Amsterdam. It's going to cross the river basically now. It's about to move over the Ohio River and head into southern Harrison County, Kentucky. And that would be heading toward, I would say, the South Central High School area, Elizabeth area, south of Corden. We'll see if that holds together and if they extend this tornado warning anymore. 10:46 on a late Sunday night. I got to get up early, too. Everybody stay safe. Heed the warnings. Any warnings are issued, always seek shelter immediately. I'm not seeing many reports, thankfully, of damage. The warning has been canceled for the Louisville metro area and for Oldham County. We're just looking at a bunch of heavy rainmakers. Salem's in the clear, it looks like, for the rest of tonight. Audrey. So good question there. So, I mean, I would say a lot of us are in the clear now north of Interstate 64. I'm just kind of watching this one little rotation area there along the Ohio River that's kind of heading towards Elizabeth, Indiana, and PRP and Valley Station. That's one area of concern right there. Everywhere else, just watch out for some flash flooding over the next several hours, and then that severe weather threat's going to diminish greatly here very, very soon. Kimberly Cochran, thank you for tuning in here. Again, if you saw any value out of this, what you saw tonight, this heads up. Thanks for the like or the share or the follow or the subscribe, whatever platform you're watching from. You can watch this on YouTube at EXTOL Media, Extol Media. Thanks for following on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook. And maybe you're watching from our webpage, extolmag.com/weather as well. Shelbyville and Taylorsville looks like, I mean, you guys are under that tornado watch until 2 a.m. We need to just kind of see how this guy holds together over the next hour. If this were to hold together, that'd be an hour out from you. But I would say that the threat of tornadoes goes way down again over the next hour or so, and you're looking at the potential of some heavy rain, some lightning and thunder heading your direction. Hey, Christian, thanks for being here tonight. Lily and Lasley as well. And one more time, I'll head over to extolmag.com/weather. And we got some heavy rain still coming down here. A lot of flash flood warnings through Clark and Scott, Washington, Orange, Northern Harrison, Crawford, Du Bois. That's all that maroon color. Look at all the lightning strikes that we have. A lot of heavy rainfall. First summer night, my friends. It's a busy one, especially along Interstate 64. Okay, looking at some updates from the National Weather Service. So the National Weather Service says we may be seeing indications of the tornado threat decreasing some with the supercell inbound to the Louisville radar, which is near Fort Knox. Want to make sure this trend holds. Former head of the National Weather Service, John Gordon, agrees with that. Reports of power lines. This is Clark County Emergency Management. Reports of power lines and trees down starting to come in from the area of Harry Hughes Road, Opossum Trot Road, and Williamsburg Drive. Williamsburg Drive there near the Otisco area. Looks like we had the potential maybe a tornado touchdown in those areas, if you know where that's at. That's about 4 miles north of Charlestown. We were tracking that potential tornado a little bit earlier. All right, guys. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow morning. I'm going to hop off here. Again, if you need to find some severe weather coverage, I just recommend you pop on to your favorite local television news program. Still seeing some broad rotation here. This is near the New Amsterdam area. Tornado warning continues for about 24 minutes. This is far southern Harrison County. If this were to hold together, just a heads up, there might be a little hail, some isolated damaging winds that would be heading towards the PRP area. And I'm going to do a little drawing here for you. This is 19 miles west of the PRP and Valley Station area. We're going to get some lightning and thunder and some heavy rainfall, just a big thunderstorm. That's moving at about 30 miles per hour. So that's probably looking at about 30 minutes, 45 minutes from moving over your area there in southwestern Jefferson County, PRP and Valley Station. All right. So much going on here tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in for our little coverage here of some severe weather for you. Hope this helped out. Again, just looking over some last minute comments from the National Weather Service. I got to try to get a little bit of sleep. We got a show tomorrow morning. It's Extol Unfiltered. If you want to tune in on all these platforms, we're live. It's your Southern Indiana talk show with Angie Fenton and myself and Christina San Juan. Thanks to Lions Roofing for being one of our sponsors here. And if you have any trouble with any of your roofing, any leaks or anything, give them a call. It's lionsroofingco.com. You can see their number at the bottom of the screen, 812-294-3595. And we'll get you covered. Tomorrow morning, it's Ben at 10. It's your local live weather show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. every day. We'll see you there. All right, guys, you guys have a safe night tonight. It looks like we're turning into more of a flooding issue overall. And that's the window screen right there. Christian says, you have a good night as well. Everybody sleep safe. Sleep well. I hope a lot of us might be tired tomorrow morning. Mary Dale says, Mary Ridge says, have a safe night, everybody. All right. Only, not very few reports of damage, so that's good. Hopefully most of you did the storm dodge here for tonight. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good one.